What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we are going to talk about the election. Okay, so we're going to talk about the election and how this will impact Social Security. So that's what we're going to focus on today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. We put out videos every day. So if you click all, you should be getting a notification every day about a new video. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the results. So looking at the results in the House, and I want to focus on the Senate more, but we're going to talk a little bit about the House first. So it does look like the Republicans will take over the House. They need 218 votes, and it's the projections right now. Looks like they're probably going to get about 220 seats. So not a unanimous victory, not a red wave that we were hearing about. And at the end of the video, we're also going to talk a little bit about how that will impact Social Security. So Democrats held strong, Republicans actually gained some seats in the House. And so that's where we are when it comes to the House. Now in the Senate, it's a little bit different. When it comes to the Senate, it looks like we're probably going to end up with another 50-50 Senate. So it looks like the Democrats will maintain control of the Senate. Now we still have some races that are out there, and that's what we're going to talk about. Let's go over to our screen here and talk about some of these races. So basically what we're looking at, if we're looking at this map, and I wish I can let's make this a little bit bigger if we can. Okay. All right. So when we're looking at this map, Wisconsin, they haven't called that race yet. So that's Ron Johnson. You guys all know Ron Johnson was the one talking about sunsetting Social Security every year and doing a review. And so right now, Ron Johnson is ahead. And we're going to take a look at some of the current information that we have. And in Georgia, we're trying to see if Warnock, the incumbent, is able to win this race. But this is probably going to be a runoff because they need 50% in order for there not to be a runoff. And it doesn't look like either candidate will get 50%. So we'll look at those numbers as well. Arizona, that's Kelly. Kelly is running, and he's doing really well, actually, against Masters. I won't say he's doing really well, but he's leading in this race. And he probably has, out of all four states that we're looking at right now, he has the best advantage. I mean, it looks like he's probably going to win in Arizona. So a Democrat will be able to maintain that seat. And then in Nevada, we have Castro and Laxalt, and it looks like Castro Mastow is she's not winning right now. So we'll take a look at the information below, but right now Laxalt does have a slight lead. And so basically, if we're looking at this, the way this is drawn up, and if we look at the breakdown right now, 48-48, and so the Democrats need at least 2. Okay, so the Democrats need 2. The Republicans will need a total of 3. So looking at what's left, Ron Johnson will probably win Wisconsin. Okay, so we can put that in the Republican column. And then when it comes to Arizona and Nevada, let's say Nevada goes to Laxalt, so the Republicans win that seat. So they have 2, and they would still need to win Georgia. So if there's a runoff, they're going to need to win that race. Like I said, Arizona, I think it will go to Mark Kelly. So that's what we're looking at right now. And so if the Republicans can't take those 3 seats, then it looks like the Democrats will still maintain control of the Senate. Now let's look at some of the numbers here. So we were talking about Kelly. He's 51.9% right now over Masters, 45.9%. Okay, and you see this is up-to-date information. They even have a ticker here showing you by the second here. And so Colorado, that's already been decided. We're just going to talk about the races that haven't been decided, okay? And we're going to take a look at Utah too, because at the end I want to talk a little bit about how this could impact Social Security. So Laxalt's at 49.9%. Cortez Mastow is at 47.2%. Okay, so that is the current information that we have up to the second. And move down, we're going to look at all the races that I was talking about. It was good that Pennsylvania went Fetterman, so Fetterman was able to win that race. So let's move forward. Okay, Utah. This is interesting. This is Mike Lee. Okay, he ran against an independent. He did not run against a Democrat, and the independent actually got some pretty good numbers here. So McMullen picked up some pretty good numbers, but he was not able to beat Mike Lee. And if you don't know, I did a video about Mike Lee a couple of days ago, and he was talking about phasing out Social Security. This was in 2010, but he still, to this day, is saying that he doesn't remember saying those things, but he's not denying how he feels about Social Security and Medicare, okay, about phasing them out. So we'll have to follow that. But Mike Lee will be going back to the Senate for another 6 years. All right. And then Wisconsin here, this is another tight race. This is the Ron Johnson race. He's the incumbent, 50.5% over Barnes, 49.3%. Okay. So very, very close. We're talking, what, 32,000 vote difference in that race. And it's 94% reporting. So they're almost done with that race. They should be able to call that very, very soon. So how does this impact, or how will this impact Social Security and Medicare? So when we're looking at the different races, and I did a video yesterday and I talked about the different strategies. When we're looking at these different races, we have to come to the realization that the House will go to Republicans. And if the House goes to Republicans, then they will be able to, they'll be able to pass bills. Okay, so they'll be able to pass bills out of the House and send them to the Senate, but the Senate doesn't necessarily have to pick them up. So if Democrats are controlling the Senate, they can just not address the bills that are passed in the House. But when it comes to the $200 raise for Social Security, when it comes to some of these different things that have been talked about for Social Security, it's probably not going to happen because Republicans control the House. So that means even in the Senate, if they decide to move forward with something in the Senate, they can pass it. If the Democrats want to pass, let's say Senator Bernie Sanders says, yes, let's do the $2,400 a year raise for Social Security. If he says he wants to do that and they get together and they get the votes, they're still going to need 60 votes. So they're not going to get the 60 votes. Let's say they want to move forward with a reconciliation bill for this $2,400 raise for Social Security. That's okay. They can go ahead and pass it in the Senate, but when it gets to the House just won't move forward with it if they don't agree with that. And we know, just looking at the platforms, Republicans are not talking about expanding Social Security. They're talking about addressing the trust fund, but they're not talking about expanding Social Security. So if we're not looking at any type of expansion, then that $2,400 raise or the $200 raise for Social Security, however you want to look at it, that's just not going to happen. Now, when it comes to reforming Social Security or focusing on the trust fund, Republicans have talked about this, but their plan is to make people work longer. So instead of retiring at 67, you'd have to retire at 69 or 70. So that could be one option. But that's the only real thing that they've been talking about. Okay, so when it comes to Social Security, the trust fund, that's how they want to address it. I just can't see them raising taxes, the payroll tax, raising that. I can't see them doing that. I can't see them when it comes to the maximum allotment, the $147,000. If you make more than $147,000, you no longer have to pay into the payroll tax or pay more into the payroll tax. So your $147,000, you pay that into the payroll tax. But anything over that, you don't have to pay into that payroll tax for Social Security. I can't see them focusing on that. I can't see Republicans doing anything about that. And so the only real option is you need to work longer. That's the only real option to address the trust fund. Now, that's with Republicans. That's how they feel as far as the platform, the information that we've received. Privatizing Social Security, all these different things, they can talk about it in the House, but really passing it, they can go ahead and pass it in the House. If it goes to the Senate, and if the Senate is still controlled by Democrats, then the Democrats are probably not going to go forward with that. It's going to be interesting. We're going to watch these races. I will be back with you guys, letting you guys know what's going on when it comes to the last races that are going on. But we're really watching the Senate right now, because if the Senate does go to Republicans, if they're able to get to basically win 3 seats, then it looks like we would have the House is run by Republicans, the Senate is run by Republicans, and now they'll actually be able to pass legislation. Okay. It'll probably have to do it through reconciliation, which sounds kind of weird, but because they're not going to have the 60 votes in the Senate. Okay. That's just not going to happen. And so we'll still be looking at some type of a reconciliation bill if they were able to pass anything. And then guess what? That's going to go to the president, and the president is probably not going to sign off on a lot of the bills that are coming from Republicans unless it's a bipartisan bill that they're putting together. So that's all the information I have for you guys right now. I'm going to have another video coming out later today, and we'll do kind of a recap on the whole election thing. And then we'll talk about some more things when it comes to Social Security. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.